Just listen. I'm sorry what I did to Compton.
You are listening to
Fire emergency.
Please don't talk, just listen. I'm sorry I killed that dude.
straight from Buenos Dias Media Studios in New York City. I'm your host, David. Here with my co-hosts, Charles and Jay are in the building.
What's up, yo?
And this is the Grim Fix Podcast. I want to thank all of you people, beautiful people who have subscribed so far to the podcast, who have subscribed to our YouTube channel, who leave your comments, who like and share. You are the best. If you are listening to us on your favorite podcast platform, I ask that you follow the podcast, leave us a review, share with your friends above all. Yes. Share with your friends and family. Share it on your social media. Yeah. Share. That's the key word here. If you're watching us on YouTube, I ask that you subscribe to the channel, like the video, leave us a comment, and share. It's all totally free. If you have an interesting story, you want to be the topic of the day for one of our shows, you want us to talk about your story, share your story, dissect your story, crack jokes on your story, share it with us at thegrimfixpodcast@gmail.com.
Yeah, anything grim, you know.
So with that said, let's start the show. Cue the French fries. So today we have an interesting topic here. We will be talking about ghost towns, right, around the world.
Yeah.
Yes.
Ghost towns. It's mainly in the U.S. because a lot of them come out in the U.S.
So let's just say ghost towns.
Yeah.
So we'll be talking about a few of these. We'll be talking about, I guess, some of them where movies were made, movies were filmed, served as inspirations for games and movies, etc. All that type of good stuff. So yeah, we can jump right into the topic, unless you have something else to share.
No. Besides the nasty people that go to the gym, no, I don't think so.
Yeah.
All right, so let's jump
We gotta ask the viewers that question. Why?
No.
Why? So let me ask this question before we start this. Why is it in the men's bathroom, when you go to the men's bathroom, there's always pubes? It looks like they were like this, like sprinkled.
Sprinkling.
On. I've never understood that, why that happens or why that's a thing.
Pixie dust.
But it seems to happen a lot in public. Obviously, public bathrooms are being used by many people. But you, the viewers and listeners, especially the viewers, that you can leave us a comment on YouTube. I want to know, do you understand why are there
how
does it happen? Like if they're seasoning the urinal.
How?
So just let me know, because we don't understand it, and
we've been trying to figure it out.
We want to know this.
Yeah, it's just gross, man. The person who has to clean up, no, that's just gross. That's just nasty.
All right, so let's jump into this topic.
Okay, so we can start off with this Centralia, Pennsylvania.
Yeah, but we can start like talking how the idea came to fruition.
True.
Tell me, what were you doing that day? You were on your what? Doing what?
What day?
The day that you were at the coffee shop.
Oh, I was scrolling around. Like I said, I was just looking for any ghost towns that were interesting, because there's a lot of them that are just like mining. You know, they were abandoned because of the mining. It's, I guess they depleted it, and that's it.
Yeah, but we were talking about music to get inspired to find all that stuff.
I was actually listening to a soundtrack, right, that you sent me, which was really, I liked it a lot. Really, I really did. It was like inspirational, not only for just to research, but it I gotta show you, man. It just inspired
Yeah,
me to draw.
it just makes you like to want to walk on a park, but on a cloudy, windy day.
Right,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah, yeah. You
I'm
totally
telling
get
you,
you.
yo,
That's how I feel.
it was good, man. It was good. It's something that, well, if anybody likes that type of music, yeah, I recommend it. You
Yeah,
know,
so we're talking about the Silent Hill 3 soundtrack. Now you gotta watch the movie because literally they ripped the music out of the game and they threw it into the movie. When I watched that film when it came out in the movie theater, I was like,
which
man,
one?
that
Part
this
one, part two.
yeah, part two,
Part
part
one
one,
was
part
kind of
two,
cheesy.
part two was garbage. I didn't like it that much. But the first one, uh, when I saw it, I thought that was like the most lo más cercano a una película, like a video game adaptation at
Yeah.
that time.
Okay.
And I just wanted to run home and play the game. That's how bad I
Just like a
liked
little
it.
kid with his toy.
Yeah, but man, it's that's what I'm saying. That Silent Hill, what captures you is the atmosphere and the music and the gloominess of everything
Yeah, just
and
the sound of
the
the ambiance
doom.
and whatnot.
Yes.
Gotcha.
So we started talking about Silent Hill, and we were like, "Hey, like, wouldn't it be interesting to have this topic? Like
Yeah,
ghost towns?" And
basically.
we stumbled upon this article because we were asking ourselves, what was the inspiration? Like, what ghost town was the inspiration for the movie Silent Hill? And here on the envoys
Involves.
envols dot, dot com. This was written
Involves.
October 25th of last year, and the title is Silent Hill: The Terrifying Story of the Real American Town That Inspired the Iconic Series.
Yeah.
So going to the end of the article, if you want to read it, the
Which
Centralia
one?
thing,
The
the
Centralia?
Centralia,
Yeah, of course I'll
yeah.
read it. It says the title says Centralia, the Pennsylvania town that has been burning for 60 years. Now, I asked myself a question: what the hell is if it has okay? Besides the fact that there is molten lava, I'm
Okay.
guessing under the ground.
Mm-hmm.
That's where. What is burning besides that? Because then
Coal.
it would, me thinking, I'm guessing that would be everywhere. Everything is burning underground if there's just lava running. So, what is it?
Maybe maybe the coal is like,
I don't
I don't know. That's an interesting question.
know. Well, let's see what it says. It says here the video game series is set in the fictional town of Silent Hill in the USA, inspired by the very real town of Centralia, Pennsylvania. In this real world town, there is nothing left but a few dilapidated buildings and a road that slowly sinks into the ground. The American town has been awash with fumes and flames for 60 years. In 1962, a fire broke out in an abandoned coal mine and was burned uh, unabated. I think that's the word.
Yeah, unabated.
Unabated through the galleries ever since. At the time, it was brought under control within a few. How are you gonna control a fire that's underground? Control with a few hours, but remained far from being extinguished. The smoldering inferno continued to spread under the town, and toxic fumes began to seep from the vents. The town has since been evacuated and is now inhabited only by a few stubborn residents. They refuse to leave the abandoned. They refuse to leave and abandon their city to the devastation. Centralia is a haunted city in the truest sense, haunted by its past, by the memories of those who lived there, and by the few souls who persist amidst the ruins.
See, now after reading this, it made me appreciate the movie like so much more because they really captured that ambience in the movie.
True.
Like
True.
the road
So,
like sinking into the ground and the
right. So
fumes.
it says it says it still has people living there. So yeah, if you look at the movie, there is some
Yeah,
people
there
living
were still
there.
people living there. Like, yeah.
So it does kind of click, you know, for some reason it just like clicks
Yeah,
all
because
together.
usually when you watch these type of movies and you go like, oh, I know it was inspired by somewhere, some place, and you just don't care. But when you start digging into it and reading it, like you start to appreciate this more. Like, yeah.
Yeah, but you
But
know
it,
what inspired the little kids and all that are running loose?
what LCD shrooms.
I don't know.
Well, it says that it was a coal mine, so I
Yeah,
guess that's what's
that's
burning.
the answer to the question that I was wondering.
So that's why the ash was always falling from the sky.
Ash, remember?
So it all makes sense.
Yeah, it's true.
It's
But yeah,
it's
but it's
crazy.
still well, there's
But
coal mines.
how do people still live there? Like if it's
I don't know. They
abandoned, like
really
how do
got
they get their groceries? How do they get medical attention? Like
I don't know.
how,
They
how
must. One thing they must have gone nose blind because those fumes
to the
alone
smell?
is enough for
Yeah,
you to just get the hell out of there. You know, pero
but
let's.
how do you do your stuff, man? Like probably all 60-year-old retired, 70-year-olds ahí que no tienen nada que hacer ahí ni trabajar ni nada y todavía they still get their social securities. What's your address? 123 Silent Hill.
Bueno, yo, they go to Grubhub, DoorDash.
DoorDash to Silent Hill.
Everything is done now by application, by phone or whatnot. Yo, bring my
Only-
groceries. I need toilet tissue. Bring my shit.
Yeah, what's the address? 123 Silent Hill. No, man. But
Uh-oh.
yeah, like I seriously didn't know that, and I've liked the Silent
No,
Hill
I did. I
stories.
actually liked it. Now, yes, like you said, I appreciate more. Because
Yeah,
it's actually based on a place that
it's
it
on an
really
actual
exists.
event,
It really does exist. Huh.
just like Chernobyl.
Chernobyl. Chernobyl was another place that well, basically it's been abandoned after that nuclear power plant accident, but they still have inspirational movies done there. Not done there per se, but they use a similar place that looks like it, and they've done a couple of movies. But
All I'm thinking of is about Homer Simpson working at the nuclear power plant. That's all I'm thinking of.
it was a Homer.
Nope.
I could just imagine it.
Do you want to jump to the other article?
Which one?
The one that has Chernobyl.
Oh yeah, if you wanna, I got a short one here. It says here,
Oh, okay.
Chernobyl was evacuated because of the high radiation levels, and Pripyat, I think that's how it's said, once a thriving city of 50,000, including many workers at the nuclear power plant, was abandoned. Over time, its urban landscape became overgrown with trees and vines. 31 people died in that Chernobyl accident in 1986. I don't know. I asked myself, how can they allow that to happen?
Well, just look at the Umbrella Corporation. Anything is possible. But I believe that Chernobyl was the inspiration for most of the zombie movies.
Yeah, well, it's like I said, they did film in a location similar to Chernobyl. They did Return of the Living Dead, Necropolis, and they did Chernobyl 2019. But like I said, it's a similar place, so it's not. I can't say it was there.
So that must be really, really horrible to be, at the como but I at the wrong place at the wrong time. Y que eso suceda ahí while you're living there, and like
Yeah, I could just
Dude, be
imagine the guy who
devastated by
caused that
radiation.
problem. The guy who caused that problem. Everybody's pointing his finger. Who was it? Him.
You're fired.
You're fired.
You're
Look what you
fired.
caused.
Ooh, look what you did. Man, like that is that is crazy.
Yes, it
Like
is.
to be affected by radiation and like just it's
I would still like to walk through there for some reason, just to check it out. A lot of these places I wouldn't mind walking through them, just for the hell of it.
well, there's still people that they're not supposed to, but they still do it because on history.com I found this article about 6 famous ghost towns and abandoned cities, and this was by Evan Andrews, and it was updated on April 3rd, 2020.
Mm-hmm.
And the first one that says is Pripyat.
Pripyat.
Pripyat. Ukraine.
Pripyat. Eh?
And it's actually the story about Chernobyl. And it says at 1:23 a.m. on April 26, 1986, a catastrophic meltdown took place inside reactor number 4 at the Soviet nuclear power plant at Chernobyl. The explosion that followed sent flames and radioactive material soaring into the skies over Pripyat. this sounds like a name Beavis and Butthead would say would make fun of, like something like Titicaca, Titicaca. Yeah, some yeah. Pripyat.
Pripyat. I need Pripyat for my bunghole. No, I don't want to offend nobody, but I'm just bugging out with the name.
Yeah. A nearby city built to house the plant's scientists and workers. It took 36 hours before the town's 49,000 residents were evacuated, and many later suffered severe health effects as a result of their brief exposure to the fallout. Soviet authorities later sealed off an 18-mile exclusion zone surrounding Chernobyl, leaving Pripyat, an abandoned ghost town. The city has since languished for nearly 3 decades as a chilling reminder of the disaster. Its buildings have decayed and been partially reclaimed by the elements, and wild animals roam through what were once bustling apartments, sport complexes, and an amusement park. In the town post office, hundreds of letters from 1986 still sit waiting to be mailed. While radiation levels in Pripyat have dropped enough in recent years to allow urban explorers and former residents to make brief visits, scientists estimate that it could take several centuries before the town is once again safe for habitation. Wow. Now that is crazy.
Yo, I'm still wondering. People are still wondering where's their freaking Social Security check. They're waiting for the letters, yo. They ain't getting nowhere.
But it says that urban explorers, they go and they make brief visits. Like, I'm guessing that you have to use those hazmat suits.
Yeah,
to go and
that's
visit
what
it.
Is. That's the only way you're gonna get in and out. You gotta wear them. That's why I said I wouldn't mind. Now. Like I said, I'm curious to go there, but you know how your mind will mess with you. You be thinking about Hills Have Eyes, people like that.
Yeah.
All this figured and just waiting for your ass to walk by and grab it,
like
just eat your
The
ass.
Last of Us. Like The Last of Us and all that stuff.
I still haven't seen it.
Dude, it's a really good show. But if you read this, like it's eventual obvious that this Resident Evil was inspired by this. When you go and you see these stories, like, yeah, this shit really happened in real life, just like the game. And you play it and you watch the movies and you go like, oh man, that's a movie that could never happen, but actually it did happen. Not people turn into zombies, but
not the zombies per se,
but yeah,
who knows?
Nuclear accidents. Who knows? I mean, I'm not happy that this happened or that people died, but this is what I would call like a beautiful disaster in a sense that how ¿cómo te lo explico? Just the fact that the decayed buildings and how it says that it's partially reclaimed by the elements, wild animals roaming through what was once a thriving city and whatnot. Like it's like kind of post-apocalyptic. You know what I'm saying? Like,
you know what it reminds me of? The way when you explained about when we were reading, it was saying about the the trees and whatnot, the plants growing. It reminded me of the movie I Am Legend.
Oh, right.
Remember, it's New York City, and it's just
just like to be there and take pictures and just.
No, it's gotta be freaking awesome.
Yes,
like I said, we're not applauding, we're not celebrating that it happened,
what happened,
but it's sort of like looking at the silver lining, something beautiful out of it.
But it would be amazing to just go in and like a 30-minute stroll and take as much pictures as I can, and like then it says that former residents, they even make brief visits. Like, it would be crazy to go to your house and be like, oh man, remember that when we were like drink black coffee?
He wants to taking this shit.
Remember when we were watching The Simpsons? Yeah. That's what they were, the former residents visiting their old towns and their own houses, and they will be going saying, oh, remember when we saw The Simpsons on that couch? Yeah. It really did happen.
True.
The Simpsons predicted it. That's crazy. But talking about Family Guy, ahora que estamos tú y yo, ahora lo que me acuerdo de Dingo and the Baby on Hot 97.1.
Dingo and the Baby, 97.1, go hog. Oh, baby. What the hell are you doing? What?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we need the sound effects.
Wee.
Yeah, we can't do them. Well, I would have if my console would have worked, but no.
Man. So, do you want to read number 2?
Which one?
From the list, from the history list.
Okay. Ordor, Sir Glaine, France.
It reminds me of Game of Thrones. What? Game of Thrones, Hodor.
Yeah.
Hodor.
I still don't get why he was saying that, but
what?
I don't get why he was saying it.
Tú no llegaste ahí, like you didn't get to that I
saw
episode?
the whole thing, but I don't remember seeing it. I'm serious. I don't remember seeing that episode.
That's like one of the most mind-blowing things that you could watch.
Here comes somebody.
He's
gonna give an opinion about what I just said.
The Game of Thrones again, ever.
What?
But
because that's like one of the most epic episodes.
I know, but like I said,
they
when I was watching
everything
it,
how can you forget that episode?
No. Listen.
Listen to me.
Listen. What I'm trying to say is, when I was watching it on cinema, and there was a lot of episodes that weren't being able to. I couldn't play them. It was
so you didn't watch the whole thing.
The file was giving me a hard time. Huh?
Then you didn't watch the whole thing.
Yeah, you didn't watch.
There's a couple of
because whoever watched that episode, they would.
There's maybe 1 or 2 episodes that I've missed, and probably
that's one of them. Probably
that's one of them.
Epic episode.
I gotta go back to.
Yeah,
I gotta go back. Anybody know? Do you know which episode it is, or he could? Once we mentioned something that caught his ear, he was gonna come back. You're like, I can't let this slide by.
5.
Season 6, episode 5.
Yeah.
There you go.
I knew it was around. The Door.
I gotta look for it.
The Door.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna see if I find it, if I could see it here.
So yeah, nos desviamos ahí.
There you go. Look. Told you. Look. He bounced.
Hey, he bounced.
So he's gonna. If we say something that catches his ear, he's gonna come right back.
So what was the name again?
Huh?
What was the name again?
Like I said, forgive me if I'm reading it wrong, but it's Ordor Sir Glaine France. Okay. This one I didn't read, but I'm going to read now. So it says here, on the afternoon of June 10, 1944, the village of Oradour-sur-Glane was the scene of one of the worst massacres of French civilians during World War III. See, we were looking for Ghost Town, and this one has a massacre.
Massacre.
In what is believed to have been an act of revenge for the town's supposed support of the French resistance, Nazi Waffen. Nazi Waffen SS.
Waffen?
Waffen? Huh?
Wait.
Waffen Waffen, something. Like I said, bear with me. Detachments rounded up and murdered 642 of its residents and burned most of their houses to the ground. The men were, yeah, it's enough that they killed them. They couldn't leave the houses. No, they had to burn them down. The men were taken to barns and machine gunned, and the women and children were locked in a church and killed with, excuse me, with explosives and incendiary grenades.
That's jeez. They went all out. They went all out.
That's messed. Well, they were killed quickly because the explosive, but still, man, women and children. Only a handful of people managed to survive by playing dead and later fleeing to the forest. They were smart.
That is.
That was playing it.
Can you imagine like being one of the survivors of that massacre? Like you'll be haunted by that like forever.
No, you can end up being a freaking
paranoid
serial killer. You become a serial killer, no joke. You be
or a recluse,
messed up in the head.
You would live like by yourself, and when I get that, like nobody would ever find me. Like, that is
off the grid.
Off the grid.
Off the grid. You know, you ain't gonna have no cell phones, no nothing. It's
yep.
You by yourself, and you surviving by yourself. No,
jeez.
It says here, a new Oradour-sur-Glane was built nearby after the war ended, but French President Charles de Gaulle ordered that the burned out ruins of the old towns be left untouched as a monument to the victims. The facades of dozens of brick buildings and charred storefronts still remain, as well as graveyards of rusted cars and bicycles scattered, sewing machines, and unused tram track. What is tram tracks?
Oh, like
tram.
Not a train, but isn't like one of those?
I'm afraid to Google it, man, because if I Google it, my computer's gonna go on the
I'll Google it quick. Isn't that like what's on California?
That's what I'm thinking. Is like those trolleys.
What is a tram?
Do not
tram.
A guy dressed up as a woman.
Not tram. Damn it. Yeah, a trolley car.
It's gonna tell you a man dressed up as a woman.
Yeah, that's what it is, a trolley car.
Ah, okay. There we go. The site is also home to a museum which holds a collection of relics and mementos recovered from the rubble.
Damn, like this one has a massacre.
See why this president wants to. Well, if it's like sort of not a tribute, you know.
Yeah, like a monument. They like.
Yeah,
I can get it, but it's like morbid at the same time.
Yeah, the guy is twisted, man. No people want to remember that. No family member wants to deal with that. They don't want to remember what went through.
Yeah,
and if they live through it, they don't want to think about it. You know?
like a graveyard of rusted cars and bicycles.
Yeah, it's not a graveyard of people. No, a graveyard of rusted cars.
This one was specific, like scattered sewing machines.
There's a lot of people.
Man, this is like 642. This sounds like an American Horror Stories, like
yeah,
pilot episode.
on its own.
On its own.
On
This
its
is
own.
crazy.
American Horror Stories.
American Horror Story.
American American Horror Story Friends. There we go.
American Horror
Episode
Story
of
France.
the Orador Serglain.
Or
That name is a mouthful.
then they have number 3 that says Hashima Island, Japan, which was the one that you told me about, the Bond movie.
I actually liked it. Well, like I said, I don't like what happened, but obviously I saw a picture from the top, and this is basically the whole freaking island. The whole island is not like Puerto Rico. You know that Puerto Rico's big, and it has, a lot of towns. You know, this is just like one little island where you see the picture from the top, and you see all the buildings like just there. And I'm guessing there's just one way in, one way out, one way out. So this really called my attention, and I actually would love to, go by.
Yeah, read it.
Oh, okay. You want me to read it? Okay.
Yeah.
It says here, the ruined buildings of Hashima, famous as the nickname Gunkan Jima. Like I said, forgive me, but it means worship island, are seen on July 13, 2009 in Nagasaki, Japan. And it says, today, Hashima Island is a vacant labyrinth of crumbling concrete, seawalls, and deserted buildings. Yet it was once among the most densely populated places on the planet. The small island coast of Nagasaki was first settled in 1887 as a coal mining colony. It was later purchased by Mitsubishi. Hey!
Do you think it's the same Mitsubishi?
Nah, the guy got money.
But do you think it's the same Mitsubishi?
No, they just.
I mean, probably Mitsubishi is a common name. Like
it's a common last name, man. It's just coincidence. It says here, which built some of the world's first multi-story reinforced concrete building to house its bursting population. Hashima remained a hive of activities for the next several decades, especially during World War II, when the Japanese forced thousands of Korean laborers and Chinese POWs to toil in its mine. But the 1950s, excuse me, by the 1950s, the 16-acre rock was packed to the gills with more than 5,200 residents. Most workers found the cramped conditions unlivable, and the city was promptly abandoned after the mine closed in 1974. 40 years of neglect have left Hashima dilapidated ruins of collapsed staircases and condemned apartments. Many of its rises are still filled with old televisions and other relics from the mid-20th century, and its once teeming swimming pools, barbershop, and school classroom now sit in shambles. The island was officially opened to tourists in 2009, and it has since served as the inspiration for villains' hideout in 2012 James Bond movie Skyfall. See, they allow people there, so yeah, we gotta get money. We gotta go.
We gotta go. That's like a time warp right there, to go back in time and watch those relics from the. What do you think it's there, like those TVs where you go?
Yeah, they're the one that you gotta get up off your ass and turn. You gotta change it. Well,
with a clothes hanger as an antenna.
Yeah. Well, you know what? The parents had their own remote controls back then.
Yep.
The kids. Yo, go over there and change the channel. Because I remember my mom used to do that. You'd be like, yo, can you change the channel? I want to watch this. But yeah, it still sounds cool to go there, just check it out and just, I don't know, just explore.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's not that I'm happy that this happened, but it's what I call like a beautiful disaster. It's like trying to see the beauty of something that happened and
Something horrible came out something beautiful.
something beautiful. Yeah, and like it says, like teeming swimming pools, barbershops, and school classrooms now sit in shambles. It's like that post-apocalyptic, you know, scenario. Like I don't know,
Yeah,
there's
like I
something
said.
about it that's so attractive. Like I don't know why, but
I don't care too much about that Skyfall, but
yeah, but
yeah.
I thought that they filmed it, but they didn't film it there. It says that it was the inspiration for the hideout. So the movie wasn't filmed there per se.
Okay, yeah, I didn't know. I didn't see that. Well,
Yeah,
I
it
did
says it's
see
the
it. I read it.
inspiration.
I did read it. I just didn't like click into it.
But still, I mean, I would love to see it. Like, and then they're allowing tourists since 2009. Like,
Yeah, you know how much it costs.
I hate being poor.
Yeah.
And then number 4 says Varosha, Cyprus, and then it says uh, caption of the picture. Yeah, the Famagustas' coast with the deserted hotels of the tourist area of Varosha in the background, fenced off out of bounds in the Turkish occupied north of the island December 13, 2003. And it says in the early 1970s, the immaculate beaches of Varosha, Cyprus served as one of the most popular millionaires' playground in the Mediterranean. The suburb boasted of thriving tourism economy, and celebrities such as Elizabeth Taylor and Bridget Bardot were known to take in the sand and sun at its high-class beachfront hotels. All that changed in August 1974 when Turkey invaded Cyprus and occupied its northern third in response to a Greek nationalist-led coup. Varosha's 1,500 residents fled the city in terror, leaving their valuables and livelihoods behind. Most assumed they would return once the fighting stopped, but ongoing political strife has seen Varosha waste away behind a heavily guarded barrier ever since. The few intrepid explorers who have ventured into the no man's land describe the resort as a crumbling ghost town. Trees have grown through the floors of restaurants and homes, and most of the former residents' belongings have been looted or destroyed. What is left stands as a spooky time capsule of the 1970s, including bell bottoms and shop windows and 40-year-old vehicles still parked at car dealerships. No, that is crazy and cool at the same time. In recent
go there
years,
and pick up some bell bottoms.
in recent years, Greek and Turkish Cypriots have held talks regarding reopening the former jet setters' haven, but experts estimate that it would take upwards of 12 billion to make its decrepit buildings livable again.
Yeah, they should get the money. It looks cool.
Yeah, but 12 billion just to fix a couple of buildings so that rich people can go and chill, like, no.
It looks like a cool hotel.
Yeah, it does look
They should invest
in
it and make, instead of just like apartments, invest in a hotel, and there you go. Just reopen it again. It looks actually good.
But like I said, they mention it like where is it? And they said that what is left stands as a spooky time capsule of the 1970s. That's what I was talking about in the last one. Like it's like a time capsule of the mid 20th century. Like to go in and see how things were like como nosotros that we
gotta take these millennials so they can see what it was.
Dude, millennials, Gen Zers, man.
True.
We're not talking bad about Gen Zers.
No, but
we're not saying anything about Gen Zers.
About these, well, most. I'm not gonna say most, like a lot of these Gen Zers. You show them like one of those TVs with a back end, like a stick out,
and they are so amazed and surprised.
They're like, "Yo, what the hell is this?
What the hell is this?" Yes.
So that's what I think about.
Man, I feel
each to its own. I'm 10.
It's crazy. Like a 1970s time capsule. Bell bottoms and 40-year-old vehicles still parked at car dealerships. Like, why haven't people looted these cars?
That's that well, because there's nobody there to loot.
Yeah, but like
that's something I would enjoy, you know, like just going through the cars, you know, those old-fashioned cars. You know, I'm not that well, I am old, but I'm not that old. But I still enjoy like things from the past. You understand? I don't know if you get me. I still enjoy some of those things that. Well, I enjoy things more from the 80s. That's from my time. But I still like things from the 50s. You know, the cars. You know, a lot of the clothing. I enjoy.
Me too. Like it's the aesthetic of it. Like
Mm-hmm.
how people will dress. What was the la moda back then, and like you said, the clothes and
Yeah, you get me
it's-
at the. I'll stop at the bell bottoms. I don't like bell bottoms. Period. No,
man, disco never died.
no. I'm nowhere near this. No, I won't touch that with a 10-foot pole. No, it's like
I would love to see you in a John Travolta costume, like Saturday
hell no.
Night Fever.
Why? Why that white suit?
Hell yeah, I would totally would love to see you. Yes, I would totally love to see you in one of those.
No, Nacho, you crazy, yo. You crazy. Hell
Yeah,
no.
but the Bee Gees
And the
will never die.
platforms, and the platform shoes, just walking out, you know,
Shoes.
strutting my stuff.
But the Bee Gees were awesome. You gotta admit that.
No, I do. No, I actually enjoy some of their songs, even though they're high pitched, but I still enjoy it.
It was the aesthetic, man, the hair and the high pitched tones and I don't know, you could feel the music back then. Now it's all
It had
generic.
a lot of meaning
And soulfulness to it.
Yes,
and now it's
had
all,
a lot
all
of
generic
meaning and
and
soulfulness.
yeah.
Nowadays, no, this it's just sad.
Do you want to read the other one?
Bodie, California.
Yeah.
Okay. It says here the cat. It said, well, it has a picture of. It looks like Little House on the Prairie.
I was thinking about an episode of Looney Tunes.
Which one? There's so many.
The ones that with Yosemite Sam and the West.
Ah, yes. Damn varmint. The caption says. So the caption says the old standard company, the old standard company ore mill is a landmark at Bodie, a gold mining ghost town from the late 1800s in the Sierra Nevada in the Sierra Nevada mountain range in California. The mining town is preserved in a state of arrested decay by the California State Parks System and NBSP. It says Bodie, California was officially, I'm guessing I'm saying it correctly. Is it Bodie? I'm going with
I think it's Bodie, yeah.
Bodie, California was officially, yeah, after I read it like a couple of times, I'm like trying to fix it up. It says here, Bodie, California was officially founded in 1876 after miners stumbled upon rich deposits of gold and silver in its hillsides. Gold-crazed prospectors flocked to the settlement at a rate of more than 2 dozens per day in the late 1870s. And its population...
That sounds like a Looney Tunes episode.
Yeah, they all went with gold! Gold!
What was the song that Elmer Fudd was saying?
I just saw it not too long ago. Crap, I just saw it not too long ago. I love gold.
See, that's what I was thinking.
Gold member, yeah, but that's gold member.
I love gold.
And its population eventually soared to some 10,000 people. Thanks to the larger-than-life accounts of whiskey-fueled shootouts, and outposts soon earned a reputation as a sea of sin filled with rough men, prostitutes, and opium dens.
Damn, that sounds like a
Opium.
Wild Wild West movie.
That's the true Wild Wild West.
But it says when the town has the outpost has a reputation as a sea of sin, like
that tells you a whole lot.
Sea
That
of
alone.
sin. What rough men, prostitutes, and opium dens, like
Opium.
Man.
The opium, bro.
Opium.
Opium. That tells you a whole lot. It says here, like most boom towns, Bodie eventually went bust. But the 1880s, it had outgrown its meager infrastructure, and the succession of harsh and deadly winters convinced many of its prospectors to move to more profitable locals. The population dwindled under the 1940s when the last resident finally shipped out. Damn, so it took him that long. Him
Jeez.
hanging out until the night. Oh my God. Since then, Bodie has become known as one of the nation's most well-preserved ghost towns. Its 200 ramshackle buildings are kept in state of arrested decay by park rangers, and tourists flocks to the site to explore its 1880s Methodist church, saloons, and post office, as well as the ruins of the burned-out bank vault. See,
that sounds like a Western movie.
Yeah, I'm kind of imagining it like in a corner. You see the sheriff office.
Oh, Susanna, won't you cry for me?
No. Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Yeah. See,
I'm just trying to just like hear the Elmer Fudd voice like in it.
But then he goes, "Oh, I've been working on the railroad all the way."
Yeah, I don't think that's appropriate.
But man, like,
now it's something also cool to just go over there and just mess around.
Yeah,
like all this. It's like you said, there's always beauty there's
disaster.
always beauty in destruction. Some sort of beauty in destruction.
But then again, it's the whole. It feels like time traveling. To go back in time, like in the 1870s, and see how people will live, like and their culture and everything. Like it's interesting.
It's funny because damn, from the 1880s all the way to the last person left at 1940. What the hell he's gonna do all that time if there was nothing left?
What chewing on
what took him so long to leave?
Chewing on tobacco and spitting on a cup, and just be like, ding, ding, ding. I mean, just on the rocking chair, like.
See a tumbleweed go by.
Man, but it's what's with minor towns? They're doomed. Haven't you noticed that minor towns, like most of them, are doomed? Something happens. Something happens.
Keep saying, look, personally, my way of thinking is just kind of weird. People just keep taking and taking from the earth, and earth is just gonna get back at you from one way or another. That's the way I see it.
Yeah.
They just take, depletes, they'll move on. That's it. That's why all these towns end up screwed.
Jeez.
Screwed.
Then they have Fortlandia, Brazil. It sounds like an amusement park. Fortlandia.
Yeah, it does sound like an amusement park.
The remains of the Fortlandia Hospital on July 6, 2017 in Aveiro, Brazil. Man, parece ahí cuando vino María a Puerto Rico, así mismo.
Yeah, it does. It does. It's a mixture of the hurricane with the earthquake.
Like hurricane, earthquake, yeah. Plus a little bit of burning down.
No,
It
but that's
says
the people, man.
in 1927, Henry Ford began work on Fortlandia, a massive rubber plantation in the jungles along Brazil's Tapajos River. The automotive magnate needed the town as a steady source of rubber for his car tires and hoses, but he also saw the venture as a chance to bring small-town American values to the Amazon.
Yo, I can get past that. Top of hose.
See, that's a name Beavis and Butthead will make fun of.
Yeah, but
Tapajos.
yeah, but Tapa, cover. So yeah, you get me, right? You get me. Tapa in Spanish means cover. So hose, hole covers. Yep. We're just bugging out here, This is what we do. This is what we enjoy. We just make fun of different
we're just
stuff,
being ourselves.
Yeah, we're just being
ourselves. Having already left his mark on cities like Dearborn, Michigan, he designed a company town complete with swimming pools, a golf course, suburban-style bungalows, and weekly square dancing sessions. Okay.
Square dancing.
Square dancing. Unfortunately for swing your partner round and round. Unfortunately for Ford, his experiment was doomed almost from the start. Fortlandia's rubber trees fell victim to leaf fungus, and its employees chafed under the town's strict regulations, which included a ban on alcohol. Clashes between Brazilian laborers and American managers soon became a common occurrence. During one riot over cafeteria rules, Fortlandia's employees destroyed most of their mess hall with machetes and pushed the town's trucks into the river. People were like,
got rowdy.
Let me take an example from that. Start grabbing our machetes.
Well, that's something that would happen over in Puerto Rico.
Probably.
No, it's not probably. It would, because that's the way if we go back with these old timers from Puerto Rico, that's the way they are. They just pull out the machete and just, go after guys. That's it.
Yep. Henry Ford eventually sank $20 million into his would-be workers' paradise, but the town failed to produce any latex for his automobiles. Having never visited the city himself, like a true boss. Yep. He finally sold it to the Brazilian government in 1945 for pennies on the dollar. The wilderness has reclaimed large portions of Fortlandia's campus in the years since, but many of its buildings are still standing, and the town has become a minor tourist destination for backpackers and curiosity seekers. So this is instead of Fortlandia, it should be Riotland or something. We'll call it Riotland.
Ghetto.
Riotland, man. These people weren't happy.
It's more like it.
But then this sounds so much familiar when it says clashes between Brazilian laborers and American managers. It's like
there's some things that it's just best left alone.
Yeah, but it then says a riot over cafeteria rules. Can you imagine? No tartar sauce for you, and then they riot.
Yep.
No tartar sauce for you.
Can I have a second slice of pizza?
No, you gotta pay for it.
And you get the beat down.
The first one is free. Yep. And then they push the town's trucks into the river.
They couldn't drive it off.
They were pissed. That's the word. They were pissed.
I don't think pissed is the correct word.
Pissed.
Pissed, I don't think is the correct word.
But then I'm happy that happened, because it says having never visited the city himself, so he wanted to build this fantasy island where people were perfect and whatnot, and yo nunca estuviste ahí.
Yeah, man.
You never visited the damn island, and you were, micromanaging everything from your
That's
home, and yeah,
Henry
like a
Ford.
true boss.
I asked the question. Henry Ford was one of the presidents, right?
Well,
Am I
wasn't
right
he?
or am I wrong? I'm not
I'm,
sure.
I'm not sure. I think he was the one that built the Ford's car.
There
It's not
was
the
a
same
Ford.
person,
I think there
right?
was a Ford I'm not sure now. If there was a Ford,
Let
I
me let
gotta
me
check this
let
out.
me quick Google it. Who was Henry Ford?
I'm not sure if he was one of the presidents. Did it come out?
No, it says Henry Ford was an American industrialist and business magnate. He was the founder of Ford Motor Company and chief developer of the assembly line technique of mass production.
Okay, so then he should have been president because basically he does what the presidents do. They'll try to they micromanage everything from afar, but never visit.
Damn, man!
Hey.
I'm still going around that weekly square dancing session.
With the type of hose.
That's what I'm going like. It reminds me of the movie. Do you remember the movie The Stepford Wives?
Yeah, I remember. I remember it. Don't remember seeing it.
That was with Nicole Kidman and Bette Midler.
Like I said, I remember the movie. I just don't remember seeing it.
Matthew McConaughey was in it. Matthew McConaughey.
Yeah, I could imagine it was in his younger years.
Matthew McConaughey.
All right, all right, all right.
No. Lo estoy confundiendo. It's not him. So basically, it's about this family that lives into this remote town. I don't remember where. And basically, it was like this perfect town, and everybody was like on 4th of July picnics and working out on their 50s dresses, and everything was so perfect, and the square dancing and whatever. And Nicole Kidman was like, "Nah, there's something funny going on." And it turns out that the husbands were turning their wives into robots.
Okay.
And that's why everything was so perfect, because they wanted the perfect life, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But kind of reminded me of that movie when it says like the square dancing sessions, because like one of the robots break down while they were like square dancing and stuff, and like it was a funny scene. But yeah, it kind of reminded me of that movie, like square dancing.
I could just imagine that.
Yeah, but then it says that included a ban on alcohol. That was like the straw that broke the camel's back, I guess.
No alcoholics, man, they withdraw.
I mean, I mean, imagine going on a job
they
that you
ban the alcohol, and guess what? They're gonna get rowdy.
I mean, imagine that you're going to this shitty job that you hate, with a shitty boss that you hate, and you hate everything, and you just want to get home and unwind with a can of beer, and then they ban it.
Beer.
Of course, they were gonna riot over cafeteria rules. I mean, they were being irritados.
Yeah, well, they gotta be limited to their stuff, and guess what? They're gonna get angry. Then you take away their beer. That's the drop that la gota que llenó la copa.
Yep. Jeez, man. But it's crazy. I mean, I would like to go and just no me cuenten, como dicen por ahí.
Yeah, I would still like to enjoy just
go and take pictures, but it's just pictures. Like landscaping pictures. It's not like I'm gonna take selfies and like ahí como que
well, if you do that line like the one that video that I saw, I think you sent me.
Which one?
So they're doing that freaking line just to take a picture on that spot.
Oh yes, man!
Oh
like
my
there
God,
was this huge line.
Freaking ridiculous, yo!
There was this huge line of people just because they wanted to take a picture on this spot. I mean, it was a beautiful spot, by the way.
It
But
is,
I
but
would
not
have,
to make a freaking line, yo.
yeah, just to go with a duck face
Yeah, they're bringing out the lips, and then they put filters.
or like this. The Miley Cyrus tongue, man. Like, get over it. It's not 2013. Like, you know.
It's worse
No.
when you see an older person doing
Yes.
that.
It's sad.
Yeah, it is.
But then I checked out this other article which they mentioned Salem. I'm gonna just read it really quick because it's this article's on Forbes.com, and it was titled 13 Spookiest Ghost Towns to Visit in the US by Anna what? Anna Durrani. And they mention a lot of towns that basically they're minor towns in the US, which was not that interesting, I guess. But they mentioned Salem, Massachusetts, which it's a good add to the list because, you know, people, I guess they like witches and stuff.
Nah,
And it says
that's something that I got close to me.
you need to go in the autumn, man.
In the what?
In the autumn where leaves are falling,
Oh yeah,
you know, and then you gotta walk while listening to the Silent Hill soundtrack. Just through the fall, like it'll be awesome, man. I'm telling you.
Even a video with the music.
Yes. It says no list will be complete without mention of Salem, which had brutal witch trials in the 1600s. The city has much history and legend, and it is said to be haunted by 19 witches that were murdered. Spirits are said to wander the city, especially at Gallow Hills, where the witches were said to be executed. The city is a hotspot for the supernatural and has ghost tours, museums, and landmarks across town. This is in Salem, Massachusetts. We need to take a trip, man.
You need to come over here. You need to take a trip over here in New York. Then we could take the trip up there.
Yeah, man. Like it will be awesome to just go in and like I said, it's like a time capsule thing. Like to go back in time and see all of this that you read in history books and I just love museums. I'm sorry, like I love.
No, so do I. I
learning about
enjoy,
history,
like, all that, you know, all the artifacts, all these old things, even if it's from the modern times, anything that's old that I just enjoy. Just even if I just look at it, that's it.
Just by listening to the old modem sound, it brings me nostalgia.
The old what?
The old modem sound, man.
You lost me on that one.
The internet modem.
Ah, yeah. Okay, yeah. I was gonna say, like, that's what it sounds like, but I guess I was
just by listening to that sound, it brings me nostalgia.
Yeah, but I don't know. I wouldn't deal with it. I hated it. I don't mind it. I could enjoy, the sound now because it'll just take me back.
If you like us, subscribe. Listen.
There you go.
All right,
follow. It's free.
If you guys, before we end the show, we just want to remind you that if you are listening to us on podcast, please follow the podcast. If you are listening to us through your favorite podcast platform, make sure to share with your family and friends so that they can know how awesome we are. If you are watching us on YouTube, subscribe to the channel, like the video, and drop a comment below. We want to hear from you. So yeah, till next time, please be safe. This is the Grim Fix Podcast. Peace.
Peace from Blue Meanie.